Hello students, how are you all doing? I hope you're revising your newspaper and starting part of the syllabus every day. As I always begin with the same statement, same reminder, keep looking at your main syllabus, keep solving your PYQs and connect whatever articles you read from the Hindu with the main syllabus so that you can understand the psyche of the examination you're targeting. Let's move to today's article, the first article that we will be taking in detail. Well, if you have gone through yesterday's article properly, a lot of time you can save today, and you won't have to stress much upon while you are going to read newspaper today, because a lot of articles which has been covered today is complete in continuation with the articles which we read yesterday. For example, the first article that you need to look from today's newspaper is salutary reminder on editorial page. Go directly on the editorial page of I think it is on page number 6. Yes, it is on page number 8. Yeah, salutary reminder. This article is related to inflation, and what we read yesterday, if you can remember, we read about the meaning of inflation, core inflation, the meaning of headline inflation, retail inflation, and what is the base year to measure these inflation, who measures these inflation. All these things we covered in very much detail. So this article is in continuation of yesterday's article. अगर आप पहली लाइन पढ़ेंगे, retail inflation data for January provides a clear reminder as to why the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee opted last week to not only hold benchmark interest rates, but also close to remain resolutely focused on achieving durable price stability. So what is the target of Monetary Policy Committee in controlling inflation? That is to obtain durable price stability. The price should be sustainable and stable over a very long period of time. It should be durable. So what is the catch for us today is Monetary Policy Committee. So yesterday what we all read, हमने कल क्या पढ़ा था इस आर्टिकल से? We read about the meaning of inflation, we read about core inflation, we read about headline inflation, we read about retail inflation, and let's today take up now the measure of inflation. How inflation is controlled. तो सबसे पहले what are the policies which are brought to control inflation? If it is brought by the RBI, the central bank of the country, it is called as monetary policy. So what is monetary policy? It refers to policy of the certain central bank. Just a minute. Where do I get the pen from? Thank you. So what is monetary policy? It refers to the policy of the central bank, which who brings the policy, the monetary policy. It is brought by central bank, which is RBI, with regard to the use of monetary instruments under its control to achieve the goals specified in the act. तो मॉनिटरी इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स क्या है हम अभी देखेंगे, जैसे रेपो रेट, रिवर्स रेपो रेट, मार्जिनल स्टैंडिंग फैसिलिटी, ऑल दीज आर मॉनिटरी इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स थ्रू विच RBI, the central bank of the country, controls the inflationary pressure. The primary objective of the RBI's monetary policy, what is the objective? It is to maintain price stability while keeping in mind the objective of growth. So price stability, along with the price stability, the growth should not be compromised. This should be kept in mind while controlling the inflation. The amended RBI Act 1934 also provides for inflation target. तो inflation target क्या है? That is 4 plus minus 2. तो maximum क्या हो सकते हैं? 4 plus 2, that is 6. The minimum inflation limit should be 4 minus 2, that is 2. So 2 to 6 के बीच inflation जो limit है, if it is obtained between 2 to 6 is fine, but beyond or below that creates quite a lot of pressure in the economy, which if it is more, it might it might erode the purchasing power of the currency of the country. If it is less than that, it might corrode the growth of the economy. So this is about the monetary policy. Let's look at next about Monetary Policy Committee. instrument of as I talked that you have to look at instrument instrument of monetary policy जैसे repo rate, reverse repo rate, marginal standing facility, bank rate, all these things you have to read from your basic sources जो भी आप economy के पढ़ रहे हैं. You can refer NCERT, the macro economy, so introductory macro economy, there is an NCERT. Introductory macro economy. प्लीज आप अगर ये पढ़े नहीं है अभी तक तो एनसीईआरटी इंट्रोडक्टरी मैक्रो इकोनॉमी आप लोग खरीद लीजिए एंड प्लीज उसको रिफर करिए. स्टैटिक पोर्शन आपका बहुत अच्छे से क्लियर हो जाएगा इफ यू कैन रीड एंड रिवाइज एज मेनी नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स एज यू कैन दिस बुक एनसीईआरटी ऑफ इंट्रोडक्टरी मैक्रो इकोनॉमी. तो वहाँ से थोड़ा इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ऑफ मॉनिटरी पॉलिसी आप पढ़ लो, रेपो रेट क्या होता है, बैंक रेट क्या होता है, रिवर्स रेपो क्या है, मार्जिनल स्टैंडिंग फैसिलिटी क्या है, ये सब थोड़ा सा आप देख लेना. अभी हम जो देखेंगे वो है मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी के बारे में. व्हाट इज मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी, व्हाट इट डज. सो व्हाट इज द ओरिजिन ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी? अंडर सेक्शन 45 ZB of the amended RBI Act. RBI Act was amended in 2016. So under this section 445 ZB talks about the monetary policy committee. Objective क्या है? Further section, this particular section lays down the monetary policy committee shall determine the policy rate. Who will determine the policy rate? Monetary policy committee will determine the policy rate required to achieve the inflation target. So monetary policy was brought under amended RBI Act 1935 in 2016 to lay down the monetary policy, to lay down or to determine the policy rate required to achieve the inflation target. तो decision क्या है? What is the decision of the monetary policy committee shall be binding on the bank. जितने भी बैंक हैं, the decision of monetary policy committee will be binding. This one you have to note down. Next, composition क्या है? RBI governor ex officio chairman होगा monetary policy committee का. Deputy governor will be in charge of the monetary policy. An officer of the bank to be nominated by the central board. Then 3 persons to be appointed by the central bank. This category of the appointment must be this category of the appointments must be from persons of ability, integrity and standing, having knowledge and experience in the field of economics or banking or finance or the monetary policy. So three persons will be appointed by who? Central government. So this will be, they will be having a good experience in economics or the banking or the finance or the monetary policy. So this is the constitution of the constituent of monetary policy committee. एक question आप लोग देखिए, try to solve this. 2017 में क्वेश्चन आया था about monetary policy. Which of the following statements is are correct regarding the monetary policy committee? 2017 का क्वेश्चन है. It decides A. The first statement, second statement, third statement. So आप बताओ. It decides the RBI's benchmark interest rate. It is a 12-member body. This is wrong as we saw. It functions under the chairmanship of Union Finance. गलत है. Ex officio chairman कौन होता है? RBI governor. Select the correct answer. So the only one is correct. Second and 3 is wrong. First is correct. So our answer will be A. So this is about monetary policy committee. Next article जो हम बहुत डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. It is about old-fashioned trust and credibility bind India UAE ties. एक मेरे इस आर्टिकल को देख लेते हैं बिफोर वी गो टू द नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल. ओल्ड फैशन ट्रस्ट एंड क्रेडिबिलिटी बाइंड इंडिया यूएई टाइज. We have, yesterday we did cover various strategic ties, energy security के जो exchange हुए हैं इंडिया यूएई के बीच में. Recently Prime Minister is visiting UAE. So we saw in detail India UAE relationship. कल ही हमने उसको देखा था, तो आज इसको हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे. This is all which we did cover in yesterday's session of the DNA analysis. Please go back to that session and do watch about detailed analysis of relationship of India UAE from the various dimensions like energy, security and strategic ties, etc., and various exchanges which happened between India UAE. This article is nothing but a complete kind of continuation of the yesterday's article, and the constituents of the content is the same, so we're now going to deal with it. Next, the article which we are going to cover in detail is why India need deep industrialization. So इसमें बहुत सारे आपको ऐसे पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे जो आपके ना ही प्रीलिम्स पर्सपेक्टिव से इम्पॉर्टेंट है बट मेंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है. सो लाइक पहला जो इसका the title of the article itself you can read, why India needs deep industrialization. So आपको ये समझने की जरूरत है what is the writer trying to say, what is the meaning of deep industrialization. And the first, अगर आप पैराग्राफ पढ़ेंगे, globalization is now in retreat, industrial policy. So globalization is in retreat. कहते हैं ना globalization, the world is now one economy, there is a lot of globalization, but what the trend now says is that globalization is on retreat. मतलब globalization कम हो रहा है, जो trend है. Why? Industrial policy and strategic state-led economy interventions are back on the menu. So industrial policy and strategic state-led economic intervention मतलब जो particular country है उसका जो policies हैं, that is now driving internal economies, driving the growth or the economic activities which are being taken in the particular country. For example, अब example दे रहा है कि why, how we can say that globalization is on the retreat. The first जो example दिया है, that is about US Inflation Reduction Act in the US, the European Green Deal and India's आत्मनिर्भर भारत. आत्मनिर्भर मतलब खुद पे, सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी पे टारगेट हो रहा है, सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट, यू नो, सेल्फ जो टारगेट है वो डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमी का जो हमारे अभी प्रायोरिटीज में है, दैट इज डोमेस्टिक इकोनॉमी. सो जो इंटरनल इकोनॉमी है, जो कंट्री की इकोनॉमी है, उस पर टारगेट है, आत्मनिर्भरता की बात कर रही है अब वेरियस कंट्रीज. तो कह रहे हैं कि दैट इज वाई इट इज सेइंग दैट द ग्लोबलाइजेशन इज नाउ इन रिट्रीट. So India's growth momentum has sustained. India recovered relatively quickly from pandemic, yet it has entered a phase of premature deindustrialization. तो जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है आपको नोट डाउन करने की जरूरत है और समझने की जरूरत है, दैट इज अ प्रीमेच्योर डीइंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. इस जो आर्टिकल में पहले तो बताया कि इंडिया इज मूविंग टूवर्ड्स प्रीमेच्योर इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. तो सबसे पहले आपको ये समझने की जरूरत है व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ प्रीमेच्योर इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, deindustrialization, and second which there is the line which is talking about why there is a premature deindustrialization. ऐसा why, how author is trying to make this claim that there is a premature deindustrialization. तो कुछ reasons दिए हैं that in the next paragraph, and then there is a solution which has been forwarded, that what could be solution towards premature deindustrialization, that has given by Raghuram Rajan and Lohit Lamba. They have written their perspective in breaking the mold, reimagining India's economic future. They bet their money not on manufacturing led growth but on high skill service driven growth. तो कह रहे हैं कि इस जो solution according to Raghuram Rajan and Rohit Lamba is that the India should focus on service led economy, not manufacturing led economy. But then next on, तो कुछ फिर उसके बाद जो थर्ड फोर्थ पैराग्राफ है उसमें अगर आप देखेंगे तो उसमें जो है राइटर ने the writer has written various India's current situation जो इकोनॉमी की है. उसके बाद author has himself refuted why the focus on service led economy is faulty. India should focus on manufacturing led growth पर्सपेक्टिव. तो उसमें फिर उन्होंने बहुत सारे जो है रीजंस दिए हैं वाई दिस क्लासिकल जो विजडम है कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लेड इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी या ग्रोथ टारगेट होना चाहिए. तो जबकि रघुराम राजन एंड रोहित लांबा हैज गिवन अदरवाइज दैट सर्विस सेक्टर शुड बी फोकस्ड, नॉट दी इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. तो ही हैज गिवन मैनी पॉइंट्स दैट वाई इट इज फॉल्टी. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर शुड बी फोकस्ड फॉर अ सस्टेन्ड growth prospect, and then he has written that why this premature deindustrialization, उसका जो root cause है वो क्या है. तो he has mentioned some culturally rooted diagnosis. There are reasons which is embedded in culture of the India's social जो sphere है उसमें कुछ reasons हैं, कुछ fault lines हैं जो exist करते हैं, because of which India is moving towards premature deindustrialization. तो this is the crux, this is the kind of deconstruction of this article. अब हम let's read this article and then we will look at some of the meanings of terms which has been written in this, like premature deindustrialization and all. So first, what is premature industrialization? हमने यहाँ तो देख लिया. Why? The fault line is built into the structure of India's growth. This takes us to a long-standing question. Why has India not been able to break out of industrial stagnation? So there is industrial stagnation and generate employment. So India is going through, as it has mentioned, that India is going through industrial stagnation, stagnate कर चुकी है industry में growth, और employment generation बहुत low है. So this is about this, and then कुछ current situations mention है, जैसे last पैराग्राफ में ड्रीम रन 2003-2008 को ड्रीम रन बोल, दिस फेज ऑफ 2003 to 2008, the author is saying this was a dream run while country was achieving lot of targets and economy was going well. Even 1991 economic reforms को भी mention किया है. It's then he says that इस industrial investment is stagnating, industrial investment में stagnation है, with high level of unemployment है, chronic disguised unemployment भी है. So what are the causes? आप एक एक में point देखो. In the industrial investment has stagnated, there is high level of unemployment, there is chronic disguised unemployment, trade deficit presence है, it is driven by imported goods, huge import of goods, and then India is not even producing the goods its consumers, let alone exporting. So इसके जो consumption required है, जो consumption needs है इंडिया की, वही fulfill नहीं हो पा रही है. That's why India is dependent on the import. Export हो ही नहीं रहा है. So there is a trade deficit, there is industrial investment stagnation, there is high level of unemployment, there is chronic disguised unemployment, there is a trade deficit. All these things are present, which shows that India is moving towards premature deindustrialization, or it has already entered into premature deindustrialization. Next paragraph में it says that why, the author says that why it should be the country to stop this kind of trend should focus on manufacturing industry, or it has refuted the claims of Raghuram Rajan that country should focus on service sector. तो सर्विस सेक्टर को फोकस करने में प्रॉब्लम्स क्या क्या हैं? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को फोकस करके ग्रोथ रिवाइव होनी चाहिए, ग्रोथ टारगेट होना चाहिए. तो वाई ऑल दिस थिंग्स, लाइक फर्स्ट एम्प्लॉयमेंट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सर्विस लेड ग्रोथ इज पुअर. वाई सर्विस सेक्टर पे फोकस करना ठीक नहीं है? बिकॉज देयर इज एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सर्विस लेड ग्रोथ इज पुअर. सेकंड, द सर्विस सेक्टर रिक्वायर्ड अ लार्ज हाईली स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स दैट इंडिया कुड नॉट बी एडिक्वली सप्लाई. जो स्किल रिक्वायर्ड है वो उसमें कमी है. उसके बाद एम्प्लॉयमेंट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सर्विस लेड ग्रोथ इज वेरी मच पुअर. एंड देन नेक्स्ट थर्ड पॉइंट में इट हैज criticized that the returns to education differ across classes and social groups. So there is a gap in various caste and class about the consumption of education and the return out of that education, that also differs. So it says that service led growth जो focus है that is faulty. And then जो culturally rooted diagnosis में है, it is saying that कि what are the causes of this premature deindustrialization. तो क्या प्रॉब्लम कहाँ एक्चुअली है? एंड दैट इज इन जो सोशल जो फैब्रिक है इंडिया की, द कॉज एंड द रीजंस ले इन दैट. तो क्या है? व्हाई हैज इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन बीन स्टैग्नेंट इन इंडिया? Rise of useful knowledge is key to technological progress and growth in modern economies. But for instance, foreign direct investment in India, which was supposed to diffuse technology, didn't take place, except in some enclaves. A culture of growth also requires the revaluation of labor, production and technology. India has looked down upon certain occupations, particularly those that are essential, electrical, welding, etc., particularly in pending organic innovation in manufacturing. Industrialists say that India undervalues the vocational skills needed for manufacturing. Certain skills are not valued even if they command higher wages. So कुछ skills हैं जैसे welding हो गई और like electrical work हो गया. These are the skills, these are the areas which are looked upon. तो इसको skillful बना करके अगर focus किया जाता है, इसको skilled sector समझा जाता, skilled work समझा जाता, तो that could also have helped, but this is not present in country. So a way forward has been given by the writer. It says that India needs deep industrialization, not just the service sector that has the power of changing the foundation of the society. So deep industrialization की ज़रूरत है. सिर्फ service sector पे focus करने से solution नहीं मिल पाएगा for the problem which India is facing, that is premature deindustrialization. So let's look at the meaning of premature deindustrialization. This way we will discuss with the help of a practice question. Yeah, what do we mean by premature deindustrialization? It is a phenomena wherein growth of an economy's manufacturing sector begins to slow down. Manufacturing sector that slows down prematurely in its path toward development. Generally क्या होना चाहिए? The economy, any economy moves from agriculture to manufacturing to service sector. But country में क्या हो रहा है? India is moving from agriculture to service sector, white manufacturing sector that is declining is, so that is what is the phenomena which is called as growth when economy's manufacturing sector begins to slow down prematurely in its path toward development. Economists generally picture economic development as a process. Economic development is a process in which the labor and other resources gradually move from agriculture, labor and other resources in the economy move from agriculture to manufacturing to service sector, as I said. But this is not been happening in the country. Some economies, however, may witness a premature movement of resources to service sector, thus leading to underdevelopment of manufacturing sector. The concept was popularized by who? In 2015 by who? Turkish economist Dani Rodrik. So this is about premature deindustrialization. Next जो हम देखेंगे, that is, let's look at a practice question. Critically examine the causes responsible for phenomena called deindustrialization in India during 19th century. तो जब the country was colonized by Britishers, so we saw deindustrialization. Deindustrialization in what period? 19th century. It's not asking about 21st century. This question actually belongs to modern Indian history, but let's discuss this because हमने अभी deindustrialization की बात की, तो we have understood the meaning of deindustrialization. आप थोड़े से इंट्रोडक्शन इसमें क्या मेंशन करना है? 17-18 सेंचुरी जो इंडिया थी, you have to mention that it was doing well in terms of industries flourishing, but as and when the European powers entered into India and they colonized, our textile, our cottage industry started declining and there was a deindustrialization of the economy. तो थोड़ा सा ये mention करते हुए, then you have to mention the causes like disappearance of court culture. The royal people or the court people actually were the main demander of these products. जब वही court culture decline हो गया, तो there was a demand, there was low demand of the products. When there was a low demand of product, the supply was, automatically supply of the products follows the demand of the product. So there was no demand, there was no supply. So this is the first reason. The second reason जो था, appearance of alien rule, the competition from machine-made goods, tariff policy, internal causes etc. existed. तो आप थोड़ा सा उस terms में, there was internal causes like the weakness in industrial sector itself must also be blamed for the decline of handicrafts industry. No efforts were made to explore markets for products. India's foreign trade was in the hands of foreigners. So all these points you have to mention: tariff policy, trade policies, internal causes. Some other power was actually ruling India. So why will they think of an economy which is not their own? They just wanted to exploit the economy of the country and take the maximum benefits, make the India supplier of the raw products and importer of the finished goods. So these were the reasons behind deindustrialization in 19th century. This belonged to modern industry, but this kind of actually related with the article of today. You can have, थोड़ा सा मल्टी डायमेंशनल अप्रोच रखा करो. कोई भी आर्टिकल पढ़ो तो मल्टी जो सिलेबस में अलग अलग पार्ट GS1 है, GS2, GS3, GS4, तो ये देखो कैसे एक ही टॉपिक might come from various perspective and might fit into maybe paper 2 अगर पॉलिटी से कोई है तो पेपर 1 में रेजोनेट हो जाए, पेपर 1 का कोई टॉपिक आया है पेपर में तो दिस माइट बी यूज्ड इन पेपर 3 ऑल्सो. सो आज की जो इकोनॉमी है, causes might be different. That time colonial power was there, European power was controlling the India's decision making authority and everything. So it was exploiting the economy for its own development and growth. Why will they let the internal economy flourish? But today's causes are different. तो आज के causes को देखते हुए उसको आप correlate करिए and look at and compare the situation which was present in 19th century. So इस तरीके से you could have continued with this article. Further, there is nothing much to read in today's newspaper. आप इतना काफ़ी है. I don't, I could not find anything which might be of any importance for today. These are 2-3 articles. India UAE importance है, inflation देखना है आपको. कल वाले India UAE और inflation, India UAE का जो bilateral relation है, we had covered in detail yesterday. और inflation, types of inflation, core inflation, headline inflation, ये सब हमने देखा था. उसको continue करते हुए today we have covered about monetary policy committee, instruments of monetary policy. In addition, what you need to do is please go through NCERT introductory macroeconomy and cover the chapter of inflation on your own and try to understand the central government, central bank क्या है, RBI क्या है, RBI Act 1934 क्या था, उसमें जो amendment आया 2016 में वो क्या था, and what are the monetary policy instruments क्या है, repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, margin standing facility and various other like open market operations. All these things थोड़ा सा आप पढ़िए. Qualitative, quantitative monetary policy. There are 2 types of monetary policy, qualitative, quantitative, that you have to read from the book on your own. This is the static part, and please try to understand and connect with today's article and also go through monetary policy committee, which we did cover. That will be sufficient for you about the chapter inflation. And next the article which was important was India UAE. India UAE को हमने कल bilateral relation को from different dimensions we had covered. The today's article of the Hindu editorial was more or less same, so we did not explain here. You have to go to yesterday's session and watch and understand. Third जो article हमने cover किया, that was about premature deindustrialization, where we understood the meaning of premature deindustrialization, etc., and the situation which prevailed in 19th century. What was the causes of deindustrialization in 19th century? That was related to modern industry though, but we connected from today's article and we covered. So revise it and happy reading. All the best. Tathastu.